שיחה עם נסיעה לירושלים. אחינו, אם אני אשכח, אני יורד בלטרון, בסדר? אם בא לך להיכנס טוב, ואם לא, אז לא. אתה לא צריך לטרוח, ברגל קצת. Okay, so Satmar saying this is not Geula, okay? Because there are some problems. There is a very, very important and famous book, Em Habanim Smechim. There is also English translation. It was written during the Shoah by a huge, huge rabbi of the Hungarian Haredic Jews. He was the Rosh Yeshiva, and he was hiding in a place, no books, no Talmidim. Okay? And without books, without Talmidim, he was thinking about what's going on. And he had hundreds of papers, handwriting, and it's really showing that he was a big genius, because he know by heart hundreds of quotations from Torah Nigle Nistar. Okay, also the real Torah and the Zohar and other inside books. And one of the things he's saying, Hashem started Geula, and we were so with our heads in the yeshiva, ועל אדמות של הלכה, we didn't see what's going on. One of the questions is there is midrash, that there is a bird. This bird, the name of the bird is shrakrak. Shrakrak. And this word usually is sitting on one of the trees. Mara said when this bird is going to jump on earth and make, in Hebrew, sharak, the whistle. So when he's going to stand on earth and whistle, Geula is coming, Mashiach is coming. So the question of Rabbi Teichtel, Kadosh, he was killed by Ukraine, by hands. So his question was, why the Midrash bring in a bird, an impure bird? If this whistle is saying Mashiach is coming, so why not bring a kosher? And he said, when redemption starts, all the goyim and all the evil forces in the world will come against us. So Hashem is bringing redemption under covers. Like I'm an infantryman, before going forward towards the enemy, we have smoke all over the area, and then we can go underneath the smoke. So Hashem is bringing sometimes process that is led by all people or forces that are seeming to be impure. And all this to make confusion in the hearts of the enemies. Some of the enemies are real enemies, some of them are spiritual enemies. So he was writing about why this was the question of that generation. How come the Zionist movement is not religious movement? And we have a huge rabbi, Hashem sent him to a very special role, Rav Kook. And he passed away before Second World War, but he felt it's almost coming. So he was the big rabbi during the years of the Zionist movement. So what he's saying about this movement? His words are very complicated to understand, but if we were telling him, Rabbi, please give us a mark, tziyun, give us number. What do you think about this movement? So you can get from Rabbi Kook two answers. One is this movement is 100. Second answer, 0. And don't give me average numbers. It's pure 100, pure 0. What 100, what 0? First of all, it's 100% Geula, redemption. You have light here? Yeah. כאן תהילה מקיבוץ, ואני אוהבת את הרבי מחב"ד. She is תהילה, סוזן תהילה, and she loves the Rebbe. This picture. She left. So, again, what 100? I have guys from Kibbutzim studying with me. He's from Kibbutz Ramat HaKovesh. It's a completely secular place. There is another guy from Ein Charod, Ein Shemer. But I'm now a bit late, so maybe I send them only the recording. Okay, so 100 and 0. What is the 100? There is a Gemara saying that some of our sages were making calculations when the Geula will come. Gemara said, don't do it. It's forbidden to make calculations because you might cause people to be frustrated or desperate because something will be wrong in your calculation or I don't know. But then Rabbi Abba is saying, okay, calculation no, but will come times which is he called Ketz Megule, times of redemption that you see it. You don't have to make cheshbonot. You see. And there are two signs. There is Pasuk, Yechezkel, אתם ערי ישראל, ענפיכם תישאו ופריכם תיתנו, לעמי ישראל כי קרבו לבוא. The mountains of the land of Israel will bring fruit to the Jews that are coming back home. So from this pasuk he's saying you have two signs of Geula, of redemption. One, this land becoming again flourishing, not a desert, and giving fruit to the newcomers. So when you see fruit in Eretz Israel and Jews coming, you know this is the redemption. So Rav Kook saying this movement, the Zion movement, they do these two things. They prepare agriculture guys to go to Eretz Israel and flourish the land, and they send Jews to Eretz Israel. So these are two signs of redemption. So the Zionist movement is a movement of redemption, 100%. Now, what is 0? The ideas, the thoughts that they were, the flags that they were carrying were completely mistaken because they were saying, we want this nation to be like all the nations. Second, Am Kechol Am. Second,
God's names, Hashem's names not in that ticket.
Wait a minute. Second, הציונות דבר אין לה עם הדת. Cut off their connection with Judaism, with Torah. And third, they wanted to build a shelter. We want to build a shelter for the Jews. And Cook saying these two ideas, they are wrong, so wrong, that if the Israeli nation is a living nation, it might kill her. Of course, it cannot bring non-living nation to life. But then he's saying, don't be afraid, no harm happen, because lies, השקר אין לו רגליים. Lies have no effect on life, only if they are combined with truth. But this is pure lie, zero truth, so it will have no effect. איסי, שומע?
פום שמח.
שלום, אני פה במפגש נחמד עם שלום, שהוא מאמריקה, עכשיו הוא לומד בארץ, אז אנחנו מדברים אנגלית, ברשותך.
ונהפוך הוא.
נהפוך הוא, כן. אתה בפורים, אני ירושלמי.
אני יהודי.
לא יודע אם הזמנתי אותך לסעודה, אבל יש אצלנו סעודה מחרתיים בצהריים.
כולל שבת?
אז רק אנחנו מסבירים, אמרנו שהרב קוק נותן לציונות שני ציונים, 100 ו-0. 100 כי זה התנועה של הגאולה. ו-0 שכל האידיאלים של הציונות שגויים לגמרי. ככל העמים, נתק מהתורה, מקלט בטוח. This land is not a shelter. It's the dream of our nation and dream of Hashem, of redemption, not shelter. Okay. So there are rabbis like you mentioned, Satmar, that took only the half of it. And they saw
many miracles in Judaism that are done through Yerushalayim. So that's why I don't agree with them, because a miracle doesn't need to be done by itself. That's why it's sometimes a little stupid. But then let me ask you this, there's people that they take Zionism and they make it almost like religion. Like a lot of these people, they go out through Zion, right? So they go to Tel Aviv and they ask the person to put on tefillin. The person says, I don't need to put on tefillin because I already served in the army, I already did my part. I don't need kosher for Shabbos because I'm living here, I'm breaking the gula here just by living here. I don't need to do any of the stuff. So there's a danger by making people Zioni, by making them Zionists, that they're going to drop Judaism. Yes. So it's a very, very, so what do you have to say that it's very, very almost dangerous?
yes. There is pasuk Yeshayahu Navi saying, Ani Hashem be'ita afishen. In English, it's a swear of Hashem that redemption will come on time, be'ita, quickly, afishen. So the Gemara is saying, how can you say on time, quickly? So im zachu, if we have merits, afishen. It will come quickly, right? And if no, on time. Now, Gaon Vilna, 200 years ago, we said that we lost as a nation, we missed all the chances of a quick Geula. An early Geula, early redemption, we missed because we didn't have the merits. For example, Ator, it's telling you, hey, Tafresh, this is the year of the beginning of Geula B'ita. Hey, Tafresh, 5,600. Now, 782. So about 200 years ago, it's the beginning of the beginning. And first of all, Sha'arei Chokhmah, gates of wisdom will open in the world, and then the beginning of redemption. And this redemption is redemption of Be'ita, on time. So there is an argue in the Gemara if this Geula relies on Tshuva or not. Rabbi Eliezer Omer yes, Rabbi Yeshua Omer no. And the end of this argue, Rabbi Yeshua quits, Rabbi Eliezer quits and said, okay, this Geula is not bending, not relying on nothing, because time has come, now Hashem is leading everything. So with Tshuva, without Tshuva, Geula is going forward. Now, the fact that people left the Torah was one of the miracles of Geula, because the real Jews Torah believers, keepers, they were all in Beit Midrash of Galut. Now, Gemara saying that the minute we were spread to exile, no more Torah. Yom in Eicha, there is pasuk, Sarei Bagoim and Torah. When the ministers of this nation are out, also no Torah. In fact, Hashem gave us a bit, a small light of Torah also here. This is called Daled Amot Shel Halakha. Daled Amot means the private issues, and Halakha, only Halakha. No Sod, no Zohar, no inside looking and understanding. Halakha means the way you act, not the way you think and believe. So this is the Torah of Galut. The third feature, characteristic of Jews in Galut is if you want to be Jewish, be out of life. Keep yourself out. חייבים חושך, זה מפריע לך אור? כן.
למה אתה חייב אותו?
אם אפשר, רצוי, אם מפריע, אז לא. מסתדר? רוח נפש דוחה אור, אז אם מפריע לך תחבא.
יש לי הבזק. הכל בסדר.
So, three characteristics. One is Daled Amot, only private, no nation. Secondly, Halakha, and no Zohar. And third is don't be connected to the Goyish life. Rabbi Yochanan was told about things that the old people in Babylon were saying. So he was astonished. Albert, old people abroad. There is pasuk, למען יאריכון ימיך. Yes, you should be מכבד אבא וכבד אביך ואמך. למען יאריכון ימיך. So you can have long life. על האדמה. On this earth, Eretz Israel. How come there are old people in Babel? So Rabbi Zera told him, those guys are going day and night to Beit Midrash. Okay. So the meaning of this Midrash is life, Jewish life. You can be old, you can be 90-year-old, but Jewish life, out of Eretz Israel, nothing, except for those who go to the Torah study. But if you're a lawyer or it's not Jewish life. So what's happened during 2,000 years, we have guys studying Torah and disconnected to life. And these guys, when you tell them there is going to be redemption, and redemption means building a nation. So agriculture and roads and economy and armies, tanks, he said, no. We are disconnected with these issues. So they became believers that say, we need miracles. No way. We are not connected to those ways. When Geula was started, and Vilna Gaon sent big rabbis, his students, to make Aliyah, begin the process. They came here, they were sure they're going to call all the Jews after follow us to bring the redemption. The Jews were not coming. They were sure it's a mistake to make Aliyah, and especially when these big rabbis, they came to Eretz Israel, started to build places like Rav Salomon, Moshe, he built Achalat Shiva in Yerushalayim, and then Petach Tikva. They said, are you crazy? In the Holy Land, you should not study Torah and rely on miracles. It's a mistake. So, time of Gula had come, and the religious guys are stuck in Beit Midrash, waiting for miracles. So, what can Hashem do? Only three solutions. The best one was Rav Kook. His followers, Gaon Vilna, and then Anaxiv Mivolozhin, and then Rav Kook. They built Rav Vilna Gaon, Anaxiv Mivolozhin was the head of the Shiva for Anaxiv, Tali Tzvi Berlin, and then Rav Kook, and they rebuilt the Torah, the nation. So everybody who studied this Torah understood what's going on, and this is the redemption and was part of it. This is one way. Second way was Tnuat HaAskala, the movement of all the smart guys that left Askala. They left the Kila. It's a big crisis. It's a big, big crisis because people left and no more Torah.
It's millions of Jews.
Yes. Many of them disappeared.
2 million Askala Reform Jews came to America 70 years ago. Now there's 6 million Jews, which means there's very few remaining.
Yes.
My grandfather came. Now there's hundreds and hundreds of people. I think after 2 million people 100 years ago, there'd be so many more Jews. Askala, they just the Jews just disappeared. They're away. We don't know the children.
So Askala is really disaster. But what happened in the first step, those guys went to universities, and that was the time of beginning of movements that they wanted to have independent nations. First of all was Bulgaria, and every place the Jews were the leaders, and some of them said, okay, we are leading the nationality of the Bulgarian people, or we want also our nationality. That gave the push to the Zionist movement to lead many Jews here to Eretz Israel. And so this was the second solution, by taking Jews out of Torah, bringing them in a long way back. And third solution, very sad to say, but was Hitler, because he said in the Gemara that if you are not going to wake yourself and come to Eretz Israel, Hashem will send a new bad king like Haman, and he will.
Where does it say this?
I will check it. It's in the Gemara. So either you come your own will, or else Hashem will have to bring you a bad king.
Nehemiah say this to the Jews in Persia if you don't come to Eretz Israel or something. I think Nehemiah said it.
יכול להיות, I have to. איסי. איפה כתוב שהרי אני מעמיד על המלך רק כאמן? עם ישראל חוזר מעצמו, הרי אני מעמיד על המלך רק כאמן.
בבקשה, כאמן. לא זוכר, אני אבדוק את זה עוד שנייה.
תודה. So 3 ways. First way was huge Torah of Beit Midrash of Gaon Vilna, but small group, very small. Second, the Haskalah, which was the main feature of the Zionist movement. And there was Haredik, somebody who came to Tel Aviv when Rav Kook was the rabbi of Yafo. And he said to Rav Kook, I'm leaving back. He said, why? He said, look what's going on here. Shabbat, no kosher food. And Rav Kook said, you have to blame yourself and your community, because if the religious Jews, if they were coming, it's democracy here. If you were the majority here, so everything can be okay. Don't blame the secular guys. But Rav Kook explaining that we know from many years ago that the years of redemption will be led by non-observance.
המחלוקת, סליחה,
כן?
המחלוקת רבי אליעזר רבי יהושע בסנהדרין.
הם מביאים את זה.
כן, כן.
אוקיי, this is מחלוקת. רבי יהושע רבי אליעזר, מסכת סנהדרין. It's צדיק זין, סנהדרין צדיק זין?
צדיק זין, כן, צדיק זין, כן.
סנהדרין, page צדיק זין, 97. המחלוקת if גאולה comes with תשובה, without תשובה. So they say, if no תשובה, evil king like a man will throw you to earth, or will push you. Okay?
Yeah.
Just to finish, so Cook explains, when people are devoted to Torah and Hashem, and Torah Lishma, you know the word Lishma? When you study Torah, not for salary, not for Hashem. So he said, human being, if he wants to be for Hashem, he has less energies than the ones who wants for something real. If you need your salary, your examination, your degree, you're more energetic than if you are Vishnu. This is fact. So to build a desert, to be a flourishing place, you need guys that almost don't have lishma. They are workers, they have their drive and their motivation. So Rav Kook is saying in his book Orot, מקובלים אנחנו, our sages knew from before that the times of the rebuild of the nation will need guys that will be out of Torah and out of kavanot, kavones, high kavanot, out of spirituality, of high spirituality, that they can work and build. And second stage, like when you're building Bet HaMikdash, first of all, you're building Chol. Because, we are not allowed to have any benefit from the Kodesh. So the workers of the Holy of Holies, they are building it. Are they allowed to have an intermediate phase in the shadows of the walls of the Holy of Holies? No. So the solution is we are building, it's whole, it's not holy. After we finish everybody out, now place becomes holy. There is expression, halachic expression, בונים בחול ואחר כך מקדישים. Building חול, and afterwards, so also the land of Israel.
So you're saying that even though you have people that aren't religious, even anti-religious, some of them could be Pashut, Shai, the fact that they're helping build the country, helping, say, the people, the road for Mashiach. It's bad what they're doing, but they're also paving the road.
Yes, and more than that, Rav Kook is saying, if you will investigate what is driving them forward to do it, and in the army to give life for what, you can see they don't have any sense, any explanation. The real explanation, they have so big soul, Jewish soul, and when Hashem called the soul time of redemption, they go. They are here. Like Esther telling Mordechai, you should go and gather all the Jews to earth. And he said, nobody will hear. They are so lost in exile. They forgot everything. And she said, you go and speak and you see the change. That's what happened. So we have a spark of Jewish soul inside. And those guys, the builders and the kibbutzniks and the soldiers, they have grade of holy of holiest of their soul. And also they have good midot, manners. They are heroes. They are very honest and straight and charutzim and charutzim. Workers that they are not lazy.
Not energetic.
energetic. So all these features, they have it because they are children of Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov. And they are Jews. Yeah, if you see myself, I was raised up in a Chiloni, non-religious place, and I was officer, and I was saying, we have expression, Dros kol dos. If you see a religious guy, you can give him a punch. Okay? And when I was children, if a religious guy was walking in the street, we have צינור, איך אומרים? Tube, and we were hitting them by small balls because they were religious. Now, in 4 months of studying Torah, I'm changed my way completely, and I have 4 kids that are rabbis and teaching. In a slight change. So all the Jews are holy Jews, but they, for a period of history, they are ignorant and they know nothing. So they have the guts and the abilities to build and fight and build it. Of course, I'm very sorry for everyone who doesn't have Torah. It's a big shame. And when they come to the age of, I have a brother, he's now 60-year-old, and he's very desperate. So what's the direction? What's the meaning of life? Without Torah, you have nothing. But he's a builder, and he was building here agriculture and a new settlement in the Galil. So they build, but they need this change of having Torah. This is the main. I am now in Panim El Panim, organization that understand this is the main issue nowadays. Bring Torah to the nation.
There's groups in Israel. It's called Dati Tzioni. You're at Dati Tzioni.
I am the Tzioni, but I don't. Anybody is not belonging to groups in the Jewish world. Everybody is. Yes, everybody is. No, Am Israel is one, and everybody has his own way. But
it's in my cousin's house, and so this was Friday. This past Friday, and Friday night was Christmas. America, Christmas is a big day.
You were still in America or here?
In America.
Ah.
I came.
You just came?
I came 2 weeks ago. So
welcome.
So I had a realization that Judaism, Yiddishkeit, is the most unified, but different, or we call it diverse, has many different sections. Other religions, there's not many sections, but fundamentally they're very different. So, for example, in Christianity, there's different groups. You have the Orthodox, you have the Protestants. Some people believe in the Pope, you don't believe in the Pope. But if you don't believe in the Pope, it's a separate religion. A Protestant, a Catholic, they're two separate religions. They call themselves Christian. There's a few different Christian groups, but they're not the same. They're not 2 separate people. A Sunni Muslim and a Shiite Muslim is not the same. They're 2 separate religions. But they call themselves Muslim, and there's only a few of them. Comes to Judaism. It's only one in Judaism. It's one. There's 5,000 different ways to do Judaism.
6 million.
You have Ashkenazis. You have Hasidus. You have 500 different types of Hasidus. You have religious. You have from Hungary, from Lithuania, from the Poland. You go on Shabbos, you see, you have Jews. One wears a white socks. One person wears this type of hat, that type of hat. One has trim, one doesn't have. You have 5,000 different ways of Judaism, right? But one Judaism, meaning one, the Sadler and the Sfardi and the Dati Tzioni all believe that there's going to be a third base of English. And all believe Torah Sinai. They all believe that there was, let's say, 10 plagues in Israel, that the Torah comes from Moshe. They all believe the same thing. It's not 2% of people. To the extent that even people that are anti-religious, what does it mean for a Protestant to be anti-Catholic? He doesn't believe in the Pope. He says the Pope is a piece of shit. I don't care. What does the Sunni believe? He says that I believe that the person for Muhammad is different. Anti-religious person doesn't say that there's going to be a fourth place in Mikdash. He doesn't say that there were 11 plagues. He doesn't say that there's 2 Moshes. It says 1 Moshe, third base Mikdash. I just don't believe in this. It takes this whole unified package and says, I don't believe in it. So even the anti-Jew believe it says it's all one thing, which is there's a emet Torah that we have different ways to practice it, but it's one. So one Judaism,
one Hashem, one nation, one.
Every other religion, maybe it's one Hashem, maybe it's 2 Hashem, maybe it's this guy, maybe it's that guy, right? They're Moshe, right? Maybe it's this one, maybe it's his brother, maybe we only have one.
Amazing.
I was like, oh wow, it just hit me.
First of all, I think you are very smart. What you were saying says in the Zohar.
He's in the army, right? He's not going to be back.
In the world, you have the way of Kedusha and the way of the opposite, Tumah. Kedusha sometimes begins in different ways, coming to one place and becoming one. Tumah begins as if everything is one, and the end is separation. Like communism, they say all the world is one, then they fight everything. And you're right. I heard the rabbi telling me, all the machlokot in Eretz Israel, in the nation of Israel, it's like 2 builders building a palace.
Wow.
And they make the infrastructure, everything is built. And now they argue if the chimney should be round or.
Listen, if I wanted to, I could prevent.
But because we care for everything, there is a joke that 2 representatives of the religions came to Africa, Christian and Muslim, and Oy va'avoy. So they were captured. שלום לחיילים, תודה רבה. יש לנו תוכנית של תורם ששולח חבילה. The joke is saying they were captured by cannibals. And they say, we can let you go, but we want you to, also you should, איך אומרים לוותר? We are prepared to, איך אומרים לוותר? To quit our principle that we have to eat you, but everybody should quit something. What's you?
Why did he stop here? Stop the whole traffic.
Was a problem that he maybe let the workers work.
So you're like all the politics. You're the neighborhood guys.
How are they going to get the Bachemish?
Here is the way. No.
Tomorrow.
One hike and they get it. So the joke says, the Christian guy say, okay, I'm prepared to admit that there was no Jesus at all. Fine. Muslim, what do you say? For me, they represent the religion. And he says, for us Muslim, okay, without Muhammad. So then come to the Jew, he said, the new, said, he cannot leave anything. You know what? in the prayer of Shabbat, there are two, how do you say it? Yekum Purkan. You know, it's in Aramaic, you say Yekum Purkan min Shmaya. It's in Aramaic, and you say twice, one for the Chachamim and then for the whole audience. It's like Misheberach, like a bracha. He said, you know what? There are two Yekum Purkan. I will quit one of them. Okay, he came back home, and all the community said, what happened? He said, we had a big miracle, but we have to sign that we can ignore something. They ignored Jesus, I ignored that. I didn't ignore anything. Only Yekum Purkan. They said, what are you dare to say that they were? They say you are not more part of our community. You were able to ignore even a spot. So we argue what yes, what no, but all in all, there is only one Torah, one Judaism, and you cannot.
Even the whole shot is that anti-religious, they don't change Judaism.
Yes, they
And
know.
the anti-Catholic says, oh, it's nobody.
Yes, you're right.
The anti-Sunni says that Muhammad's successor, he's not the second prophet.
אני מסיים.
It says, Am Yisrael ma'aminim bnei ma'aminim. We have, it's our main characteristic that we are believers. So usually, a non-believer guy, Filoni, if you ask, you are not believer, okay, tell me about what you are not believing. Usually you will find out that you also don't believe in what he is not believing. Because he has some drawing of what's the meaning of Hashem, and then said, no. But he doesn't understand the reason. If he will understand, he will be a believer.
What are you going to do? So what you said about the film of gold, so I have to disagree with what you said. He said that chance to bring the Gula early left. We don't have the chance.
No, he didn't say it. He said there are times of early Geula, and we are now in the period of Geula Be'ita. On time. This is the time of Geula. But the Pasuk say, Ani Hashem Be'ita Chishena, that Hashem is swearing, is promising, that when will come the Geula on time, we'll rush it forward. Or by miracles of Hashem, or by us driving it forward quicker. So this Geula cannot rely on Tshuva, because if guys in America say, we want to stay here, so we cannot wait with them because time has come. But to make the Geula weeklier, of course, I'm going down here. Okay, we'll be in touch.
Okay, it's not sent. I have to send it to you.
Not finished?
Look, this is only 40